everybody, welcome. My name is Nina Carr, and I just came back from teaching a class. So if you're watching this video, do not judge. If you're a fitness instructor, fitness professional, you know how it is. I just came back from teaching P90X Live. And tonight I'm doing a special webinar sharing with you a little bit more about what is Core to Force Live, what can you expect if you're wanting to become a Core to Force Live instructor, and how should you prepare? Also, how is Core to Force Live different from other kickboxing formats? So if you follow me on social media, which most of you do, I hope, just this past weekend, I was in LA at Beachbody headquarters, where for 3 days we were in Core to Force Master Trainer Boot Camp with Joel and Jericho, the creators of Core to Force. It was definitely a humbling experience. It was very intense. It was a lot of form and technique. And if anything, it definitely helped me to become and continue to level up as a fitness professional, as a fitness instructor, as a master trainer. And it just made me fall in love even more with the Core to Force brand. This is my wheelhouse. This is my jam. I absolutely love it. So let's get into it right now. So we know that Core to Force is an MMA style class. I need you to write that down. It is not an MMA inspired. Everything is inspired nowadays. And Joel and Jericho were really adamant about enforcing that with us at camp, that this is not to be called MMA inspired, because no offense to Paloxing, but you know, Paloxing says they're MMA inspired. This is MMA style. Joel and Jericho worked really hard to use actual MMA boxing combinations and moves that you would see if you went into any Muay Thai or MMA class or facility. And we had the really cool pleasure of working out with some MMA legit fighters when we were at camp, where they were helping us to understand the essence and the feeling for MMA so that we understood the moves in Core to Force. These aren't just moves that Joel and Jericho like picked from the air or watched on YouTube. They themselves do MMA and Muay Thai. And so these are the moves that are really the MMA and Muay Thai style. So that was pretty cool to kind of learn the behind the scenes of how Core to Force came to be. So again, it's punching, it's kicking, it's Muay Thai, it's MMA style. It is Core to Force. And of course, everything focuses on your core. So when you're doing those boxing combinations for your MMA blocks, there's 3 blocks in Core to Force Live. Your first block is 4 rounds of MMA boxing combinations. You do 1 minute on your traditional fight stance, followed by a 30-second spike, and then you're gonna switch legs and go into southpaw, do another minute of the same boxing combos, followed by another 30-second spike. And that spike is your HIIT, your high intensity interval training. That's when you want your participants to go all out, balls to the walls, maximum effort, maximum efficiency. So you do 4 rounds of MMA for block 1. And then in block 2, we go into fight conditioning. So fight conditioning is when that part of class is core centric. Okay. And again, that's the word that Joel used, core centric. So traditionally in many Group X classes, you do core or ab work at the end of class, right? Well, what Joel and Jericho did was they put it in the middle of class, and they joked around saying, now nobody can leave class when it's time for abs, right? You're staying there because it's in the middle. So that's when you're focusing on core centric. You're doing ab work, you're doing plank work, you're doing leg work, and you're helping your students or participants to focus more on form and technique and slowing the exercises down so that it's quality over quantity. And the way that fight conditioning works is, again, you've got 4 rounds, 2 exercises in each round. Your first exercise is for 50 seconds, and then your second exercise is for 30 seconds, and then you're going to repeat it again for a total of 2 times. Once you're done with your fight conditioning, you finish off with your 3rd block of class, and that's called MMA Plus. So you're doing the same boxing combinations that you did in the first block for MMA, but MMA plus now means that the instructor is now going to show an additional move or component to the round. So for example, in round 1 for MMA, for the signature bout, you're going to do a jab cross, roll with a cross. And then for MMA plus, you're going to do jab cross, roll, cross, and then this time finish it with a hook. So that hook is going to be your finisher. So this is when you're going to add an additional component. This is optional. You can have your students maybe for the first couple weeks just doing the regular combination from MMA block 1. And then maybe on that 3rd or 4th week, you can introduce that additional finisher for those rounds. So that's pretty cool. And your class will definitely start to feel more successful week after week when they keep continuing to attend your core to force classes. What else can I share with you? Okay, so how should you prepare? Well, I definitely recommend that if you aren't already doing so, that you are doing the home version of core to force. That way you understand the name of some of the combinations, the name of some of the moves, the name of some of what we do in fight conditioning. It won't sound that unfamiliar to you, and the moves won't feel that unfamiliar to you. If you can go to a gym where they have kickboxing or where you can hit bags, or go to an MMA studio, definitely check that out. This is a very technical format where form and technique is king. It's king over speed. And what separates core to force from other kickboxing formats is that, one, you're not going to move to the beat of the music. So let's just use the elephant in the room that many people are going to compare this to, Body Combat from Les Mills. This is a different beast, okay? This is MMA style. We have spikes. Combat doesn't. We have fight conditioning. Combat doesn't. We don't move to the beat of the music. Combat does. And by not moving to the beat of the music, this allows your participants to really get the combinations, to really focus on form and technique versus being a little spastic because you're moving to the beat of the music and therefore you're not really knowing what you're doing. You're just following along. And you're really working on your full range of motion, focusing on core rotation with your boxing combinations. So you're effectively working your body and working it out efficiently. Because again, we want you to focus on rotating your core in those combinations and really feeling it and shredding inches off of your core with core to force. So making sure that you understand how this is different from other formats, there it is. So if fitness facilities, fitness managers, fitness directors, group fitness coordinators ask you, how is this different? Now you know, and now you can educate people with what you know, right? Knowledge is power. I've been teaching core to force. I taught it yesterday for the first time. We were the first class in Arizona to do it, and the feedback has been amazing. People feel like a fighter, and you want them to feel like that. You want them to move like a fighter, understand the essence of MMA, unleash their inner warrior, feel fierce when they're working out, and, excuse my French, but keeping it real, feel a little bit like a badass when you're doing core to force. But more importantly, as the core to force instructor, your goal should be to help your people feel better than when they came into your class and to feel empowered and accomplished after killing it with their core to force workout. It's about the experience that they get to take with you in doing this format and becoming limitless and just giving it everything they've got when they hear the bell and at the end of the bell. And again, core to force is for everybody. I made sure to emphasize that a lot in my classes yesterday. It doesn't matter what level of fitness your participants are or will be. If they're interested in taking your class, encourage them to come check it out. Because the ways that they can modify this is that when they're doing the MMA boxing combinations, one, they slow down. Two, when they do the spikes, you're going to be able to demonstrate to them different options. So modifications, moves for the spikes that you can make lower impact, so it's easier on their knees and joints, and they don't have to jump or drop as low. Or they can challenge themselves and take it up a notch to a level 2 or a level 3. You're going to show them those options. But what we're really hoping for is that when your participants are doing those spikes, they're giving it everything they have. They're emptying out their gas tank. They are leaving their heart, sweat, and soul on the floor. And they should feel out of breath at the end of those spikes. So as they're going back into maybe the southpaw stance and doing another round on the other side, that they have to catch their breath a little bit and slow down the combinations. So just know that no matter what level of fitness, you can have people come take your class and they can challenge themselves and feel so accomplished and so empowered. Let your people know, especially when they're taking core de force with you for the first time, they will feel sore. They will feel like they were in a train wreck. And that's exactly the feedback that I've been getting today from my students who took my class yesterday. I have 4 people already reach out to me. If you don't believe me, check my Facebook page. Some of them posted it on my page publicly, how they are feeling sore and they are feeling their body from core to force. So that was a testimony. And I was like, yes, it worked. It's legit. It made their body feel it. So what else can you do? So we talked about doing the home program. We talked about maybe taking some live classes and hitting the bag. And what I'm going to be doing for everybody that registers, about 3 weeks before your training, I'm going to be sending you individual emails with videos showing you how to do a switch kick roundhouse and really breaking it down, how to do a front push kick, how to do a front leg check. That way, when you come into the core de force training, you're not supposed to know how to do these moves. That's why you're going to the training, to learn. But at least if I can give you a heads up and say, start practicing this, you're going to walk into the training feeling a little more comfortable and confident and understand how to execute the moves. And it won't take you that long to learn it. Does that make sense? So just know that I'm going to help you as much as I can to be prepared before game day. I'm going to help you throughout your entire training. And I'm even going to be giving you feedback. So when you finish your 8-hour training with me, I'm going to give you an action plan. I'm going to say, hey, this is what you did really great at. And these are some things that I want you to work on as you get ready to teach core de force. And maybe it's working on your roundhouse and giving me more of a circular kick. Maybe it's your front push and making sure that you flex your toe when you're doing a front push kick. Maybe it's helping you to do your alternate clinch knee and reminding you to bring your hands and move them past your hips. Whatever it is, maybe it's pivoting more on the balls of your feet when you're doing your boxing combinations. Just know that I'm going to help you. I'm going to give you feedback. It's positive, constructive feedback. Don't take it as a negative. And just know that feedback is a gift. Anything that I'm giving you, it's just to help you to polish yourself up and really look the part of a core de force instructor. I know I'm pumped up. I am ready. I even, for my anniversary, my 13th anniversary is on Monday, and my husband asked me what I wanted for my anniversary. I didn't ask for clothes. I didn't ask for jewelry. I didn't ask for a purse. Nothing designer. You know what he got me? Muay Thai bags to kick and punch and to practice, because I myself am going to be practicing so I can continue to perfect the craft or work on my craft as a core de force master trainer. So I'm really pumped up, and I hope that you are too, because this is going to blow up. This is going to be big. And if you're teaching it right and working on your form and technique and really living and breathing the format as you're going out there and teaching it, you're going to build a following and you're going to be able to fill up your classes. I have no doubt. We had 25 people in our first class yesterday for both classes. I taught a 9 a.m. and a 5 p.m. class. And the feedback was positive. At all different levels of fitness. I had people that were really deconditioned and really overweight. And then I had your fitness enthusiasts, your fitness freaks. We all have them in our classes. And everybody loved it. Everyone felt challenged. And everybody walked out of there feeling fierce, badass, and accomplished. So if you have any questions, Derek, you're on the call right now. Let me know. What you got for me?
So I heard you describe like how to dial it up and how to add. I think you said a plus round at the end.
It's called MMA Plus.
MMA plus. And you also said kind of what you, at another point in the call, you mentioned a level 1, level 2, and a level 3.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything different there that I missed? Because I was thinking level 1, level 2, and then you like the regular and the plus.
Okay, so level 1, level 2, level 3, that just means like how you would demonstrate the hit, the spike,
okay.
for 30 seconds. So level 1, let's say if you're doing a guarded squat, that's one of your spikes, a guarded squat, squat jump. So it's a plyometric move, but a level 1 way to demonstrate it would be just to get your heels up off the floor, right? Level 2 would be to add in the plyometrics, 2-foot takeoff, 2-foot landing. And level 3 would be to get lower in your squat and even jump up higher. So adding a little more height and depth in your squats and jumps. So that's what I mean by level 1, level 2, level 3, when you're demonstrating the spikes. And so the way that your class is broken down, the different blocks, your first block is MMA, 4 rounds. Your second block is fight conditioning, 4 rounds. And then your third block is MMA plus, 4 rounds. So this is just like a fighter. You're doing 12 rounds in a 50-minute class. And it's a 50-minute class. And if you're teaching at a facility where maybe they want to give you a 30-minute, you can teach a 30-minute class, a 45-minute class, and a full core de force class. And we'll show you what blocks you would teach for each of those in your training.
Cool, thank you.
You're welcome. Of course, this is a pre-designed format, just like all of our Beachbody Live formats, which means that you don't have to come up with any choreography or boxing combinations or create your own spikes. Everything is designed for you, including your playlist of music. And in the music, you're going to hear sound effects. That is so helpful for the instructor. That lets you know you're going to hear these sticks, these drumsticks tapping together. So when you're doing your round of boxing combinations, or when you're doing fight conditioning and you're doing that first exercise, the sticks let you know that in 10 seconds, a change is coming. And if you're doing the MMA blocks, that lets you know in 10 seconds, you're about to do the spike. So as the instructor, you're going to let the class know, hey, here comes our spike, and this is what we're doing, and you'll quickly demonstrate it. And then if you're in fight conditioning, the sticks let you know when to transition to the next exercise, and then you'll get started when you hear the bell. So that's pretty cool. There's no guesswork or having to look at your watch or kind of get a feel for when you should announce a move. The sticks let you know. And then you're always going to hear a bell, just like in a boxing ring. The bell will let you know when to start or when to finish. So you got to love that. Easy peasy. No equipment's needed. You don't need gloves. That's another big thing to remember. So again, kind of comparing it to body combat, there's no gloves. You don't need any wraps. We want people to imagine that they're punching an opponent in front of them, or they can use themselves in the mirror as the target. And I think that's about it. I've kind of covered everything. It's a technical format. You want to make sure your form and technique is on point, and we'll do a lot of that in training. We actually do an hour and a half of form and technique, which I think is needed for core de force. So there's a lot of time to break this down so that you understand how to execute these moves, because you want to make sure that you're executing them correctly in your classes, because your class is going to mimic you, right? So if your form and technique is not correct, they're going to mimic you, and they're not going to really work their bodies out effectively and efficiently. What else you got for me, Derek?
Nothing. I'm excited.
Yay!
I can't wait.
Me too. So I'm working really hard. I'm working hard to find something in Tucson, to book a training in Tucson.
Excellent.
But for now, we've got our first training end of July in Mesa. We've got another training August 5th or 6th. Excuse me for not knowing off the top of my head. But then I'll be in El Paso. Then the end of August, we've got a training in Avondale, Arizona. In September, I'll be in New Mexico. And then we've got another training later on in October in Phoenix. So we're making sure to bring Core de Force to as many areas as we can. I would say that if a Core de Force training is not in your area, try to attend one that I have on the books that you can go on our website, beachbodylive.com. Carpool with some friends. Carpool with some friends. It's going to be a fun experience. You're going to feel tired. You're going to be hungry by the end of it. You're going to be mentally and physically drained, but you're going to feel so amazing to officially be called a Core de Force instructor. So that's going to be really cool. All right, you guys. Well, I think that's it. But if you have any questions at all, please know that you can always message me on Facebook or email me at ninacarrfitness@gmail.com. Remember, the first 10 people to sign up for each of those trainings gets a Core de Force water bottle. You cannot buy that online. So let me know when you register so I can make sure that you get your water bottle and that I can also send out those videos to you to help you be prepared with form and technique. In the meantime, enjoy your Memorial Day weekend, and I can't wait to train you in Core de Force Live. Bye, guys. Bye, Derek.
Bye-bye.